Hello, and welcome to FLG 102, Introduction to IFCAP and GIP. We are very excited that you chose to join us this week for training. This version of IFCAP and GIP training incorporates the AbovePAR software. The AbovePAR software is a graphical user interface, or commonly referred to as GUI for short. It overlays certain modules within Vista, specifically GIP and IFCAP. The AbovePAR tool is designed to make your job easier. It gives Vista a Windows-based point-and-click display as opposed to the DOS-based display that you are probably accustomed to. As you will see, the AbovePAR tool displays multiple pieces of important information on the same screen, which is intended to streamline workflows. AbovePAR will help with many aspects of inventory management, such as improving inventory accuracy and data integrity, minimizing stockouts, and reducing last-minute orders, to name a few. Ultimately, it is designed to create efficiencies that will improve customer service for making a better veteran experience. Now let's log in and take a look at the AbovePAR tool. Note that when it comes time for you to log in, you can start the program by double-clicking the AbovePAR icon on your desktop. Because there's so much data AbovePAR is pulling from Vista, it's going to take just a few minutes to load, so we appreciate your patience. When you get to this screen, enter the appropriate access code and verify code and click OK. Note that AbovePAR might take a couple of extra minutes to load. Once loaded, you'll notice that there's an error message that pops up. This is just a glitch within our training database. So simply ignore it and click OK. So because of AbovePAR's customization features, the entry page may look a little different when you log in from your home station. And also, please be aware that you may have different access to keys and menus in this week's class than you do back at your home station. So starting from the top, we have two tabs, the Inventory tab and the Reports tab. The Inventory tab is used to manage primary and secondary points. More on that in a minute. The Reports tab is used to generate ad hoc and custom reports. You can generate canned reports that you're probably used to seeing in GIP, such as the usage demand item or the usage demand analysis report. Senior management also uses this for reporting and audit tools to help better manage inventory objectives. So we're going to spend the majority of our class over here in the Inventory tab. And if you notice, there's 5 sub-tabs for the Inventory tab. The Metrics tab, the Today tab, the Distribution Point tab, the Items tab, the Email tab, and the Settings tab. I guess now's a good time to mention the hovering your mouse cursor over a button or a header will display a short explanation of what that button will do. This can be used throughout the AbovePAR tool. Also notice over here you can pick which primary and secondary you would like to work on. So if I wanted to work within a secondary that's in the medical surgical primary, I just choose the secondary drop down and select my secondary. Notice that there's green background color. This is to indicate that you're working within a secondary. If I want to go back to the primary, I'll just click the up arrow. And I'd just like to point out that when you're within a primary, the background color will be yellow instead of green. So right now we are on the Today screen. This screen displays real-time information for a specific inventory user for a specific distribution point. So depending on your role, you can either set this to be a primary or a secondary distribution point. Mine's set the clinical, medical, surgical primary. So this screen provides work lists. The rainbow boxes right here, and then the different grid items are clickable, and it'll take the user to specific features within the inventory module to perform day-to-day functions. So for instance, If I wanted to see the 3 items below the emergency level, I just click that button and it drills into the 3 items that are below their emergency level. So IMF 76 has a quantity of 10 on-hand quantity, and you can notice that the emergency stock level is 20. If I want to get back to the Today screen, I just simply click the Today screen. Next is the Metrics screen. This is compiled each night to consolidate facility metrics for administrators. This will give you a general alerts for a particular primary distribution point. So this is a display only, and it will not provide you with a link to underlying data like we saw on the Today screen. The Distribution Point tab provides the user access to search, display, add, and edit both primary and secondary inventory points. So again, I'm currently in my clinical, medical, surgical, primary. Here are the group categories for my medical, surgical, primary. Here are the storage locations, secondary distribution points associated with that primary. Here are all the different authorized users, the fund control point, and what it's stocked by. If I wanted to add anything to any of these sub areas, I would just click the green cross to add a new category. Next is the Items tab. This displays all items within a primary or a secondary inventory point. So to select an item, you just click within an item on the Inventory Search Results tab. Let's take a look at item 78, ophthalmic solution. And also notice that the area you are working within turns red. So this is called the Display Focus Helper function. So if you get interrupted, you can simply return and you'll know where you were working with last. Item details for 78 are below on the Details tab, where you can see the long description, the short description, storage location, stock levels. The Images tab allows you to attach images of the inventory item. The functionality is not currently set up in our test database. The next tab is Distribution Order Processing. So it provides the user the ability to create and manage distribution orders, both in the primary and the secondary. So within the primary, the user has the ability to run AutoGen, and you can actually create a repetitive item list. The repetitive item list is then worked and moved to a purchase order within Vista. You can also edit, release, print, and post distribution orders created in a secondary distribution point. Next tab is the Item Purchase Order History. So you have the ability to check purchasing history for items from a range of 90 days to 5 years. Finally, you have the Item Master tab. Depending whether or not you've been granted access, you may or may not see this tab. For the purposes of our training course this week, you do have access to the Item Master. When this is not checked, this means you're working within the Item Master. If it's checked, you're working within item 78 in the MedSurg primary and GIP. So again, unchecked means you're in IFCAP, the Item Master file number. Also notice you have a Reader tab and a Labels tab. So the Reader tab allows you to transmit barcode data, and the Labels tab allows you to print barcodes. Finally, we have the Email tab, which will allow you to open an Outlook email message. And then we have the Settings tab. This is initially where the inventory administrator at your facility would set up your different settings and your different display. So this was a brief overview of the AbovePAR tool. You will go into much more depth on most of these topics in the coming days. Thank you and have a great week.